Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So we have our first prompt for the brand new project Roxy Creations girls have put together for us, and it's monogram. The whole overall theme is treasure hunt, and our first prompt for the next 2 weeks to work on is monogram. Okay, so now it's been a little while since we've been together discussing this whole project. And if you're a regular, you'll know that I'm planning on doing 3 projects. One is a full-size mannequin. The other is a little dress for my childhood teddy bear, who actually I didn't even bring to the camera. I'm not sure where Honey Bear is. She's gone off wandering at the moment. I can see her in the distance. There she is over there. But we've made in preparation a little pinafore for her because her childhood outfit that she had with me was old, just old. So Honey Bear is getting a new dress. The other project is I have this beautiful book cover that I got from Rachel, and I was planning on doing a journal of stitchery in here, and it'll be a bit of a wash between embroidery and slow stitch, and just revisiting some of the classic stitches and activities to do with my grandmother, which is the overall theme. My theme is seamstress. So as you know, if you've been with me for a while, Grandma was a seamstress. She made wedding dresses as well as normal clothing to supplement the income for their family. So I thought, what a perfect theme. I have a lot of treasures from my grandmother's era, her mother's era, and an auntie. And then you slide in there my mum, who's no longer with us. And I thought this project will be just beautiful to rummage through all my treasures and bring them together into these 3 projects. So there are things that will suit the journal, there were things that suit Honey Bear, and then of course I've got the mannequin who's standing over in the corner there with a little simple dress on it already that I can remove and bring to the camera and stitch. Anyway, enough talking. First thing, a couple weeks ago, in the process of trying to work out my themes, because I have this big wad of fabric from the French themes of fabrics, I can't think of the name of it. Rachel showed a couple, not Rachel, sorry, Sarah showed a couple of the fabrics from the whole range. She's an Australian lady that sells French fabrics, French linen. Unfortunately, her supplier is retiring, so her business needs to pivot a little. If not, she'll go into something new, is the word on the street. But you can still get her bits and pieces that she sells. Link is in the description box. So, now we did 4 mood boards. A neutral, a blue, a purple, because this is what was in my little fabric pack. I bought the fabrics probably 2 years ago at a Gold Coast fabric show. And I couldn't decide because in the pack they all look so gorgeous together. So I ended up creating my mood boards as stitcheries, which will go into my book as well as who knows what else. So, Honey Bear. Everyone has been commenting on what they think Honey Bear should have as her little dress. And I'm going to say I have made a decision, and she is going to be a blue baby. So Honey Bear's theme will be blue. Okay. Now the mannequin, because Grandma was a wedding dressmaker and she wore a lot of she was an unusual girl, muted tones on the bottom and brights on the top. I was like, well, how do I wrangle that together? Then I started focusing on her hobbies, and she did a lot of tapestry, and then I started doing a lot of cross stitch. She did a little herself, but she really preferred the tapestry because it was a little bit more easier on her eyes. So I pulled this piece out. She had this sewing machine. There's the Mannequin. It's the whole seamstress thing. This has been in my cupboard for years. I don't know when I did this, way back in the 80s. And I've never framed it. It's been that one day I'll put it in a frame in my room. So I'm using this as my colour palette for the Mannequin at the moment. And I'll bring in a bit of a bridal influence and collage to the dress of the Mannequin, I think. Oh my gosh, I just can't narrow my thoughts. So in amongst it all, if you watch the video of my haul from Melanie, purveyor of textiles, who puts up random pieces of fabric and bits and bobs that are all reclaimed, this popped up. Grandma did so many tapestries. Every niece and nephew, grandchild has one in the family, if not a couple. It's like she did a lot. I think I've got close to 6, maybe 7 of them. And then I even bought some tapestries, some famous Australian scenes, and she stitched them for me. So I'm a bit of a fan of the work. This popped up. I couldn't believe my eyes, because to buy one of these and do it myself, which was definitely on the table as a plan for the project, it was pretty expensive. And this was $10. And when it arrived, it is actually the flowers. This lady has done it in Petty Point. Tiny, tiny stitches. And out here, the entire piece is stitched as well. It's so, so beautiful. She's so neat. She hasn't even knotted. She's done the woven it through technique. So now I'm in a quandary of how do I incorporate this into the project. It pains me to think that I cut it, because I'm going to break the stitch lines, and I don't know. Goodness me. So I've got that. I'm still whizzing around in my brain. I've still got this on the pile as inspiration, if not into the project. So when none of them fit in the journal, that would have just been too easy. Let me just bring the camera up a little bit. That would have been too easy. If that fit in there, that would have been easy, but no, it doesn't. So stay tuned. See, even when I sat down to film, I thought about actually using this as my panel and working around this, which I really like as well. Project number 4. But it doesn't solve where I put this. Just thinking. The thing I like about this particular project is we're going to get prompts that get added to things. So I can actually spend probably a month to 2 months just building the elements for this project. So if you're out there and you haven't decided how you're going to present your piece, well, don't panic. You can easily just create little morsels ready to go onto something. And you might start out thinking that you're a tea towel size and then decide that you could come in smaller, or you could even go bigger. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not going to pressure myself to make a decision. Some things are definite and they will suit the book. And then little Honey Bear, well, we know where we're heading with her. She's going to be a blue girl. And I've already got some panels now that can go into my book. The first signature will be sorted. So I'll do a video in the coming weeks where we create the internals of the journal, and those 4 pages can come together. Anyway, enough talking. Monograms. So I'm going to just put Honey Bear's little pinafore to one side. And that. Now, monograms. When I was in Paris, I was fortunate enough to pick up a C on a piece of paper that would have been in a salesman's book, which is what gave me the idea for this, to make it like a book that would go around from town to town visiting all of the haberdashery stores. And this would have been a sampler that the owner would have been able to order from. So give me 6 pieces of number 8 and 12 pieces of number 9. I'm guessing it would have been probably a D. So I have this gorgeous piece, and it could come out of the frame and go into the journal, but I thought, no, I want to look at it. So that's definitely staying in the little frame and just sit in my room. But when I was at the retreat, Lisa from Lisa Mattock Stitching has added to her pile for sales some additional monograms that she found in France when they were over there doing their textile tour, which I was a part of. And I thought, I'll grab them because you never know. So we have here, I see already, the colours match beautifully with this over here. So that's one element that I could work, and I thought maybe add some more, you know, bits to it. I wouldn't say it's super old, but what would I know? It sort of looks like something someone's done more recently, but you would never know. That stitch is like a whipped, yeah, it's a back stitch that's been whipped, where they've done the back stitch and then rolled the thread through it, making it a little bit more raised. So that has potential. Then I picked up this one. Now, there was some debate that this was a G and not a C due to this little shape here, but by hang, it's awful close to a C. So I'm going to say it's a C. And what I'm thinking of doing is collaging some lace and some bead work and doing some stitching in around it. And this one will go into the journal because it's a good size, the piece of fabric that's on it. So stay tuned for a future video. This one will go into the journal to this size, like those previous pages, and I will collage something around it, and we'll make another page for the journal. So that's the plan for this one. Decision made, Corrine, decision made. This little guy, I think, is going to go with all of these because I've already got a red there, you know, telling the story. So, oh goodness. You know, I keep looking at that mannequin over there and wondering how I get these squares to go to that shape of that little dress over there. And I don't think I can without destroying these pieces. So I think I'm going to do a wall hanging again and use these elements as my first base. I just get them stitched onto it and then build in around it so it'll become a massive collar. Yeah, I'm going to do it, guys. I've got some linen from my trip, and I can get that as big as I need it. This C, I think, is going to go with it because it feels to me like it's going to work. I can bring in all of the tones from my pieces into it. It'll just be a big conglomeration. See, I can even bring the blues in. Okay. All right, guys. We have project 4, for goodness sakes. We're doing a big panel again. I know there's a few of you that will be pleased because you so enjoyed my French garden. I have a feeling it'll be something like that. Maybe I get my big piece, stitch down these two, and then we layer on top. I need to have a, oh yeah, then I wouldn't need to cut this. Sorry guys, I'm thinking. I could even bring in a bit of Lucello. I'm just looking at my current project that I'm working on. It's, I don't know, video number 2 may have aired by now. Let me just grab it. You guys are still working through the videos, but that's the bag. And there's 5 episodes, and Lucello is just, I'm fallen in love with it. See the roses inside there? That fabric would work beautifully with this. So I think, yeah, we're going to do it. Oh my goodness, project number 4. What are we going to do with the mannequin butt? Maybe we just do a lace story on it. Okay. We're going to do a panel. And these pieces are the start of that panel. As for this little guy, I'm going to do something with it. I don't know what yet, but I'd say I'm going to embroider some flowers on it. I know what I could do. When I did the Nikki Franklin course, she's all about little embroidered flowers, little bits and pieces. Where's those? Where are they? Hang on. Where's that box? Okay, here it is. Where's the piece I did? Okay, these are the 2 little kits that I did. And you'll see her little flowers? It really focused me on doing itty bitty flowers. And I fell back in love with some of these. Now this little piece here, I changed it up a bit by doing my own collection of my favourites. So we've got French knots. Let me bring it up to the camera. That's one where you do the 5 spokes and then weave the embroidery floss around. And that's a blanket stitch that extends into the centre. And then she whipped around the outer edge of the blanket stitch as well to get more of a raised, fluted feel to the piece. So, having said that, I think, here we go. Now we're getting some ideas. And this was the other little one where we really played with all of the little flowers in the piece. We did a bit of colouring on the background as well. So, with that in mind, and being that Grandma was an embroiderer, she was also a judge of embroidery at the local fair, I'm going to add to this little flowers to embellish it some more. So that's what I'm going to do with this, and it will tone in with these pieces and become something, whether it's to the mannequin or it goes onto a big panel. So that's the plan. This one will be a page in the journal, embellished. This one will be added to with little flowers to suit that. Now, Honey Bear. Now, Miss Honey Bear, she could have her initials. So I've got myself some paper and some tracing paper and this book. Now, I haven't had a chance to search if this is still out there. I picked it up for $2 at a fabric recycling place down the road. So we're going to have, oh look, it even belonged to someone. Isn't that pretty? I like how you can add to your monogram all sorts of additional storytelling. It doesn't have to be as simple as that. You can really, you know, go for it and embellish it. So, Honey Bear. So what about we do a H and a B for Miss Honey Bear? So let's have a flip through and see if we can find something that inspires us and feels a bit honey bear. So I like the idea of flowers for her as well. Oh, they're so cute. They're nice and simple. Sarah's video shows you how to do the classic monogram stitching where you build it up a little bit before you put your satin stitch over it. So that's really clever. I've never seen that done, so that was really interesting to actually see. Where's Honey Bear? She should be here looking through this book, making a decision. I better go grab her. For anyone who's new to my channel, you'll be thinking, what is the girl talking about? Hang on. Honey Bear, come over here. You're supposed to be participating and you're out gallivanting again. Here she is. Say hi, Honey Bear. Hello, everyone. Anyway, stop mucking around, Honey Bear. You sit here and we're going to look through the book for a monogram, all right? Okay. Now you'll be thinking that Corrine has gone over the edge. She has lost it. Her creative brain has finally snapped. I don't like any of these. Oh, what about that, Honey Bear? That there has little flowers. What do they call them? Bluebells. That'd be cute. Would you like some bluebells on your dress? Some little ribbon stitched bluebells? That's a possibility. Oh, see, that's what I had in mind. Yeah, that one there. See how they've just popped little flowers and leaves and even Honey Bear. That would suit you. Do you like that one? No? Not sure? Neither am I. Okay. There's the H and there's the B. Okay, let's come back to that one. Put that in there to mark it. Nope, nope, nope. That's if you wanted to cross stitch. Cross stitch one. These ones are similar to the one Rachel's doing. That was beautiful, that one of Rachel's. Absolutely gorgeous. See, my mannequin, I could probably do a white one with Lorna. I did even last night when I was watching the video of Rachel's, I had a thought that I could do Lorna. My mum was Janelle, mine is C. And I thought maybe there's a way of doing an L, a J and a C together in a monogram for the dress in white as part of a nod to all of us. So that was sort of popped into my mind, combining the three. See, there's the J. So an L, the J, and the C. Yeah, I do like that idea. Do three stitched together. Okay. Honey Bear, you're only getting 2 letters. You're not getting 3. See, I love then how they do all this additional work around even just a simple letter. Gosh, they're nice. We should bring back monograms, shouldn't we? They're hard to read. Oh, look, there's people in those monograms. There's little humans in that one. Look at that one. I know when you put into Pinterest monograms, you'll find heaps and heaps. This is where you add around the name. Look at that. Okay. And now my mind's starting to overflow and I need to simplify things, building on the actual letters. Working it into the butterfly. That's on the cover. Looks better in the picture than it does there stitched. thread's going to be very important when doing your monogram, because if your monogram's very fine, you'll overpower it if you put the wrong thread. Like if your thread's really thick, you'll find that you just won't be able to read your letter properly. All right, back to making some decisions. I really think I'll do something along the lines of combining 3 for the dress. But in the meantime, let's focus on honey bears. And I do like this idea, and then getting some of my Nikki Franklin learnings and revisiting some of those gorgeous little stitches. And I think I might even do that on this one as well, just to keep that floral element coming from that tapestry. Okay. All right, honey bear. This is the one you're getting. So we're going to move honey bear out of the way and have a little look at this dress. So we could aim to put it up here. But I did want to do a collar of some description probably in the future. So if I was to put it here, potentially it would be covered. So maybe I need to come down to, you know, here. I wouldn't be restricted then in size. Okay, let's just have a fiddle with the book and some tracing paper. We'll do a couple. What I'll do first is I'm going to trace this out as it is, and that'll get a bit of a feel. That'll give me a bit of a feel for how they have done this, and then I'll see if I can potentially, you know, go again but enlarge it. So I'm going to just follow the lines of the picture. So then they have these little bits that come off. It's a good way of sort of really studying the piece. You start off with I could probably go and enlarge it too, like go to the printer, enlarge it. It's another option. But let's just have a little look at it as it is. This is beautiful. I think what makes this as well is that it is small and dainty. So if I did do this, I would use 1 or 2 embroidery threads. This is a real Nikki Franklin style of work. Very fine and dainty, which technically is not me. But doing the course with Nikki really reminded me that probably when I started embroidering, this is how we would do it. We'd do doilies, and it was often 2 threads. It's a bit muddy in here, knowing what is actually I like those little flowers, it's very pretty. So in this case, I definitely put it in a hoop. Now Nikki gave us all a embroidery hoop. Not that I didn't have any myself, but she did give me in the class a really small one, which I don't have. And I found it quite good to use because it was easier on my hands. The other thing she did that I've never done is she wrapped the hoop Gee, that's pretty. And I think it's pretty because it's small. I do like that. Let's do the bee. Now, do we do the bee beside it? Or I'm thinking slightly above. Let's sketch this one. It shouldn't be too hard to reproduce it if I did decide to go bigger. Gosh, you could do a journal, a fabric journal, just focusing on different monograms. Can you imagine how beautiful that would be? Just working monograms. This might send us all down a few rabbit holes, you know, because not often you do this type of work. Well, I've never done a monogram. I didn't even know that that's how they padded them up, that Sarah showed us. So that was really, really cool. So we're definitely doing some new things, which is great. That's what slow stitch is all about. Some will argue that it's just random lines scattered across fabric, but I don't think it is. I think it's everything with needle and thread. It's just taking the time to do it and understanding that these things do take time, therefore embark on the journey. And that is slow stitch to me. And doing a monogram, I would look at that and going, oh my goodness, there's a day's worth of stitching there. I'm not going to bother. And I'd move on. But when your expectations is already, it's slow. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, I think we have a plan. Now, as for the bigger one, I'm thinking I'm going to probably put the 3 initials together, but I'll think a little bit more about that. What I might do is, I wonder if I can get that onto fabric myself now that I've drawn it once. Let's have a little look, see if I can get a shape happening. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we can at least have a play. I'm pretty confident I can give this a go. And then just follow the design where you thicken up your ends. And then they have these little flowers. So it's just about practicing the imagery. And if you feel like you've got it. I didn't even look at that. I just started doing my own thing there. So we've got some leaves that nearly look like holly. I lost my way there a little bit, but that's got the general gist. Some little nodules. I think I can do it. It's just a case of working around, building it up, and I'm sure I could even add beads. So I guess if you guys out there don't have access to one of these particular books or patterns, just draw yourself a bit of a scrolly shape. And that leaf's a bit dodgy. And then do a little bit of filling in. They tend to make it look thick and thin. Add your flowers. Yeah. So this little guy here, that'll be quite easy to sketch in some additional pieces to it. Could even vine through it all. Gotta be careful with this pen because it's permanent. Yeah, this is going to work. I feel confident. I'm getting a bit slap happy with my drawing now. I'm just doing anything. Oh, you could just keep adding and adding. Definitely. So that's not bad. So it's got the same vibe as the one from the book. So I have a feeling I can get it to whatever size I want. The question next will be, I'm going to do the bee. But I'll do it up a little bit because I'm going to run out of room. So let's have a play with the bee. It's a little bit bigger. Whoops, that went a bit crazy there. I could, I'm going crazy now, I could even intertwine them. So now I'm speeding up a little bit because I've had another idea. You know, when they start wrapping them together, you could do so much with this. And then start your flowers. So you've got thicker bits. You could do a couple scrolly bits and then your flowers, little bits coming off. Oh, potential is huge. All right, I feel like I've got a plan. Even the one for the mannequin, I don't necessarily need to probably follow the book, but they are beautiful. That's those bigger ones. I'd probably have to reduce them, I think. I don't know. I've got time. We've got 2 weeks. We'll come back to that. So what I might do while we get the right pen, the friction pen, and have a go at, where's my inspiration? Get that book open again. Adding some floral elements to this. And I guess if I don't like it, I can iron it out. Where was those? Where was the honey bear ones? I really like those honey bear ones. Admittedly, we have a thicker flower, a thicker C here, but where's the C? There it is there. So it's got more of a scroll. Okay. Maybe the vine is the way to go. I'm fine around it. Let's, do I follow the shape? Look, I'm just going to go for it. Going to add a vine. And then on the vine will be my embroidery, I think. Yep. Probably that needs to be a little less. And then we apply the same principle as this before. We start putting some little shapes. some flowers, some little leaves. We start building it up. Just slowly work my way around, adding little bits and pieces. So if you're doing a monogram from scratch, just get your initial down in a simple form and then create something around it that is, you know, something additional. Let me just zoom in so you can sort of see my feeling I'm getting here. So that should work. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Similar style as that. Lots of little lazy daisy stitches to create little leaves, little pistil stitches coming off of them. Little flowers, so probably stranded cotton 2 threads. That's a pretty good start. Okay. So the next thing will be to get this into a hoop. Now the hoop that I got from Nikki, let me grab that, is that little guy. And he will just fit in there. So Nikki actually had us wind the hoop with fabric, and my fabric has come off a little bit. She had a coarse, what would you call it? Like what my tape measure braid is made out of, this stuff here. That there, that's what she used to wind around her hoop. I'm pretty sure I've got some somewhere. It's like a tape that would be better, and then you put a few stitches in and it's forever there. We didn't have any at the in the pack, but we did have a silk tie around our bundle of goodies that we got from her. So we just cut that in half and used that around the hoop, and that got us out of, you know, trouble and got us the start of it. Now she had bound both of her hoops, top and bottom, and she said that it's to stop bruising of her fabric. The other thing she said too is at the end of your stitching you should always take your fabric out of the hoop. Don't ever leave it in the hoop. She said some of the hoops will have an oil in them, so this also stops the hoop from putting that line around your work. So just some interesting tips. So I've just repaired that because it had started to come undone. So technically I could probably bind that. Having said that, her hoop is a beautiful quality. There's no splinters in this. So I'm going to attempt to put this in here, but if it doesn't sit nice and firm, I might put another piece of fabric in there as well, just to sort of hold it all together. Oh, that's all right. That's nice and firm. Just tighten that a bit. She also said make sure your threads on your piece are nice and straight. Don't just whack it in and it's all skew-if, which is what I would have done. Now, I need to have a little look. at our inspiration, which is this. Grab my cottons. I don't know if I've got a green in here that's suitable. Nope. Let's have a look at our stranded cottons and see what we should do. I'm thinking something fairly dark, but then yeah, I'm thinking something dark. Let's have a little look. If we don't like it, we can always undo it. And I'm going to do two strands. I think I should be actually doing the flowers first, you know. I really do. But we'll have a little play, because there's spots there where I can easily do a bit and make sure that the colour is right. Now it's got to go over the red in this bit of vine. So I might just do a split back stitch, where you split the stitch before. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to do just a couple little lazy daisy leaves on the side there. Yep, I like that. The little flowers will be a similar thing, just a little stitch. I could come back and whip stitch that stem as well, just to make it raised up a little bit more, but I don't want it to look chunky. I sort of want to keep the work very fine, so this might be just enough. Yeah, so that's going to work. So that's my little vine. That certainly will work in with the tapestry theme. So I'm pretty confident we can carry on there. Just do one more stitch. Now, the flowers. My instinct is to go red. Let me just put that thread there. I'll grab my project tray, pop in that thread. There's some spare. Maybe we do a blue. I do like the grey blue tone in that flower there, which would mean I could probably use some of those, like a turquoisey tone. Where's the red? The red, hang on, here it is. Nope. Pinky reds. Let's have a look through these colours. Because my piece is already pink, I'd probably go a little bit darker so that the little let's have a little play with this one. This is 498. It's a bit of a classic colour for me. Sort of want it to be quite vibrant, a bit punchy. Actually, the flower I could do, instead of the old classic Lazy Daisy, I could do one of those woven wagon wheel type flowers. Oh, there'd be a proper name for them. So you do 5 spokes. Oh, the monogram for the lady over in the corner, the mannequin. I could do ribbon embroidery flowers on it. Oh, now we're talking. I don't have any white ribbon. Oh, see, that spike there is a little bit out. Let's go back, get him a little bit bigger. I've got a bit of a plan anyway. Oh, the eye on this needle is small. Hang on. Why are we struggling when we don't need to? Let's get a proper needle. Even a variegated thread would look rather cute. We're going for time. We're fine. So we need 5 spokes, all evenly. 3. 5. Okay. So now you start weaving around your flower. Like, I am so not as precise as Nikki's work was. She was very good at what she did. So you go over that spike, under that one, over that one, under this guy. So the alternating. So over, under. If you feel like you're picking up threads as you're weaving, turn your needle around and go in reverse. Over, under, over, under. Under. Thank goodness we've got 2 weeks. Because just doing the monogram, if you want to get, you know, a little bit fancy and do something pretty full on, you're going to need every bit of it. So under, over. You just keep going around, under, until your spikes literally disappear. My spikes aren't evenly, you know, stitched. So my flower is going to be a bit dodgy, but that's okay. I can live with it. or unpick it. So it's a rose. Gives you that real impression of it being a rose. You don't want to pull your thread too tight. This is not a real good colour for you guys to see the effect of it. It just slowly fills up. You can see the importance of having your spikes of your wheel, your starting point, all the same, because otherwise you get to this stage and you've got a spike hanging out in the open. And I'm sure if this was being judged at the local show, my grandmother would have failed it because she could see the foundation spikes. But luckily it's not going in the local show. The other thing I could do to disguise the fact that my spikes are showing, which they are disappearing actually, better than I thought, is you could put some little leaves, sort of getting to the point where my spikes are barely able to be accessed. I think this will be the last stitch. That's pretty good. And then it's a case of finishing it off. One red rose. Looks like we're doing roses. Roses are on the tapestry. And we've layered around this little C. Can you see the little flower? Gosh, that colour's not real good for you guys to see. Come into the light, girl. So it gives you a bit of an idea of the plan of attack. And I could do them different sizes. I might even bring in a pink. Let's have a look at the pinks. Maybe something a little bit paler. There's a variegated pink. That would have been nice too. Oops. But I'm thinking yeah, something like that. Just a little bit, might be too similar to that, but we'll see. We'll pop it in the little tray. I still think I could even work in a little bit of this, but we'll see. So, all right, so that's the plan, guys. I'm going to work on this little monogram first, and then I will sort of narrow down my thoughts with some of these others. I'm definitely going to collage around this and create a panel in another video for my journal, the salesman's journal, we'll call it. The honey bear, she will be another video where I'll come back and have got the H and the B onto some fabric. And I think she'll be florally like this too, using this book. Let me come up a little bit. Using this book as my inspiration. And then I need to have a think about the monogram. If there is going to be this fourth project, like this is one and the lacy dress is another, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, don't need to make the decision. We'll just see. I sort of need to see some more prompts too, and that will sort of get my mind, you know, a little bit more focused. So who knows? What an adventure. So you don't need to make all your decisions. I guess that's my point. If you don't know what you're doing yet in the big picture, don't worry about it. Just get your monogram started, start gathering all of these little prompts together, and maybe your project comes together in the final couple of weeks and it then collages into something. Who knows? But don't restrict yourself. All right, guys, I'll leave you alone and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.